Received the Africa Freedom Prize from the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom, which is a German foundation for liberal politics. Wine, a musician turned politician, is currently a member of parliament in Uganda. His rise to prominence has not been without its challenges, though. The Ugandan government has arrested and prosecuted Bobi Wine several times, and he's accused security forces of torturing him.
When this struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown in the new Africa.
An artist using his voice to communicate his message, a critic of the Ugandan president, at times facing arrest, but not about to be silenced. It is this bravery that has led to the recognition.
I hope that this award will be helpful for you in the coming years to come. I hope that the attention it will bring to you will also be a kind of protection. Gordon mentioned all the people that we are including in Liberal International. And we are very much aware that we need to be vigilant. We need to stay in direct contact. As mentioned, we are also having a discussion, a conference on digitalization and human rights. And that's the good part of digitalization. We can be made aware instantly if something happens to you. And I can assure you, we will not stay silent. We will work on your behalf.
Speaking to the media, Bobi Wine says he is humbled by the honor.
This Freedom Award to me means that our fight is not in vain. Our fight is not empty. We're not fighting in the dark. Other people, other like-minded people all over the world are looking to us, and they are indeed looking up to us.
See, I would like to communicate. I would like to communicate about the thing that we have to eliminate, the ignorance and poverty to eradicate, all these ghetto children to educate. Don't you try to politicize, don't say Bobi Wine him criticize.
Sophie Mugwen, SABC News, Maboneng, Johannesburg.
True liberty begins in your mindset. To bring it to people, they must educate. Education is expensive to get.
Before coming to South Africa, our correspondent in Uganda, Leon Ssenyange, spoke to Bobi Wine about his role in politics.
You are a musician now turned politician. What was the motivation for that?
I would say that motivation comes mainly from desperation other than inspiration. You know, I've said it before that I look at myself not as the most qualified politician, but because looking around the people that we would expect to stand in for us and say it or do it for us, it has not been done or said. So, and I realized time was moving very fast. We were children yesterday, now we are parents, and tomorrow we're going to be grandparents. And noticing that we are in our prime and we are the majority, you know, it's an entire generation that is either being unled or misled. So it was important for me to rise to the occasion and not only do what I can do, but inspire other people, other young men and women to do what they can do, well knowing that every generation must discover its mission and then betray it or pursue it.
Let us talk about the People Power movement. It's a new movement in Uganda's political scene. You lead that particular movement, and it's quite vibrant. Just in your opinion, what do you think has been the impact of the People Power movement in the political scene of Uganda?
It's a huge impact that the People Power movement has created. First and foremost, like I've been saying many times, that our people have been apathetic and disconnected from their politics and how they are being governed. But for us, we anchored our message on Article number 1 of our Constitution, which is to the effect that all power belongs to the people. And that alone was enough to sensitize people and remind them that actually these leaders are supposed to govern in the interest of the people and not to their detriment. And that has been very, very well received, the message. It has changed the way people look at themselves and how they look at their country.
Uganda is one country with a very young population, and it's where you have put most of your hope, in the country's young people. Do you think they understand what the People Power movement is about, or even still, what you stand for?
Most of the people that have contributed most to Africa were actually our age or even younger. So you are not too young to contribute to Africa, you know. And most importantly, if we don't create the Africa that we want to live in, who else will? Like never before, Africa is so young. Like never before, Africa is so informed. Like never before, Africa is so connected. So it is upon us to grab this opportunity with both hands and legs and maximize it, to unite in purpose, to identify our mission as the young people of Africa.
Tell me, what would be some of those things that you'd want to achieve, not just as the People Power movement, but also as an individual who has the intentions of contesting to lead Uganda?
You notice that here in Uganda, and like many other parts of Africa, the people that rule over us have indeed reduced to our administrations to mere kleptocracies. You know, corruption is the order of the day, impunity and disregard of the rule of law and human rights. We want to restore that. I've always been talking about education. In my opinion, education is very important, and like the great Mandela told us, it's the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves and our children. So I want to revamp it and have an education that indeed prepares good leaders and good implementers and good civil servants. That can only happen to the next generation if we prepare them through education, guarantee our lives by revamping and breathing life into our sick, almost dead healthcare system. Here in Uganda, it has been said right from very many years ago that this is a part of Africa. We can maximize our agriculture and harness our natural resources and national wealth to revolutionize the lives of the people of Uganda. You know, we want to unite our country so that we are one. As a generation, we are united by our pain, our desires, but we still want to be practically united to a goal that we are all marching towards.
You have previously raised concerns about human rights in your country. How big a problem is it?
I think the word human rights is the word that the regime here does not want to hear. Many people are, you know, abducted by the regime, by state operatives, and they are kept under illegal detentions, under torture houses that the regime loves to call safe houses. We recently discovered that there's an island where people are living like slaves. They are arrested, indeed abducted, and then kept there. People are being killed. All rights are not regarded at all. Personally, I'm not even allowed to attend a public gathering or go to church or even, you know, show up in the public, because every time I show up, people are beaten blatantly, people are brutalized blatantly. So there's no single observation of human rights under the Museveni regime.
Well, let's talk about the Uganda presidential elections. You have previously declared your intentions to contest in the 2021 general elections. What do you think are your chances against President Yoweri Museveni, a man who has been in the seat since you were about 4 years old?
Every factor points at our win. For example, the population of Uganda, which is in the tune of almost 44 million, 85% of them are my age and younger. These are people that have never seen another president. And we have an over 80% youth unemployment. We have a government that is way in its 80s and 70s, presiding over the youngest population on earth. Our chances, in my estimate, are between 80 and 90% win, especially if we had a free and fair elections.
What assurance do you have that you will have a free and fair election in 2021?
In the past, like I said, there has been so much apathy by the people. They had more or less given up, not expecting any free and fair election. But we have, and I must congratulate us, we have done a great job sensitizing people. Now all the people have their eyes wide open. Our strategy is to sensitize the entire population, because we cannot do this alone. And we know that the regime cannot kill or intimidate the entire population. We have sensitized our people, and they've massively registered as voters, well knowing that our only solution is not a unanimous decision win. It is a knockout. I was a boxer, and I don't believe in unanimous decision, especially when the referee is not fair. We believe in knockout. So we want to knock the Museveni regime out on a vote. We want to overwhelm them with a huge number of votes that they cannot even dare rig.
All right, so that's Bobi Wine, who's regarded by many, particularly young people in the country, as perhaps somebody to be celebrated. Now, meanwhile,